Good morning. Hello. Trying to figure out the right positioning again. Let's have a look. Nope, it's not correct. Let's alter this with a button and see if that helps. Oh, there's quite a bit of delay in between YouTube and me. Let's see if that helps. There we go. Just gonna get my phone mounted and get it plugged in so that it doesn't die, because it likes to do that. Hello and good morning. Nobody's here yet, but hello and good morning to replay friends. It is a bit earlier this morning. It is just after 8 o'clock. I was supposed to be working on some other stuff this morning because I have things to do today. It is pouring rain, however. One of the things that I have to do today is I have to do a lot of product photography for eBay and Etsy, and it's too dark still this morning. I can, of course, still take photographs if it's overcast and raining, but because it's so early, it's just a little bit too overcast and raining. So I thought I would switch up my day, and instead of doing the photography first, I'd make this card first. Because I need to get this card out in the mail because it's my sister's birthday in a couple days, and she just lives like an hour away, so the card will make it in time as long as I get it in the mail today. So what I'm going to be using to make the card for my sisters is I have this stamp set that I haven't even used yet from Kindred Stamps, and there's their website. I believe that they still have an Etsy shop as well if you're interested in buying from Etsy, because your Ebates will work on Etsy and they won't on the Kindred Stamps website. However, Kindred Stamps does do loyalty or rewards points, so either way you can get a little bit back. Let me see if Love Bites is currently available, and then I will link it in the chat for anybody watching the replay that's interested and wants to click a linky. Let's see, and I do actually have an affiliate link now that I think of it. Let me find it. Because I am now an affiliate for Kindred Stamps, which is really exciting. I'm a Kindred Stamps fan. If you're unfamiliar with them, it's a one-woman show. Well, she has employees, but the owner's name is Audra, and she's very nice. So she's definitely worth supporting. But they do a lot of here we go. They do a lot of pop culture themed, pop culture inspired things. I'm gonna link the set in chat right now. And the thing about them is that they're kind of inspired by certain things, but they're not really supposed to be those things. So you can't use the names of what's inspired their stamp sets. So I can't use the name of the fandom, the saga that has inspired this stamp set. But if you happen to be a fan of these books and or these movies, you're probably going to be able to figure out what it is just from either looking at it or me talking about it. My sister is a big fan of the movies and the books. So this set is called Love Bites, and again, that's Kindred Stamps, and the link is right in the description there. We have a couple of really fun sentiments, and I like things that are punny or kind of amusingly horror inspired. So a lot of these sentiments will work great with other things that I do use. But we have a young girl here. We have a werewolf here, and we have a vampire here, and it's sort of a love triangle thing. And the sentiments are: bite me, have a dazzling birthday, I'm having you in my pack. I love having you in my pack. My love for you is undying. This one I think is fun because I do a lot of like zombie cards and stuff at Halloween, so I thought that would be fun. Love bites, of course, and you suck. So for my sister's birthday is coming up, and we're not young. She's gonna be 36. She's my younger sister. She's a couple years younger than I am. So I thought that it would be fun to make a card for her, and I'm going to use the have a dazzling birthday sentiment, and I'm not sure if I can work it in. I'd like to fit in you suck because I think that's funny. So we'll see how it works out. I have kind of a general idea of how I want the card to work. And we'll see if it fits. But I know that I definitely want to use, obviously, the have a dazzling birthday, and kind of the scene that I'm envisioning is I'm thinking of an iconic scene in the woods with the two of the leading characters, the little girl and the vampire. Where in this particular vampire mythology, if you're not familiar, the reason why vampires can't go out during the day is not because they'll burn up. It's because their skin is so hardened. It's like some sort of weird rock thing. Their skin has become some sort of superhero rock, if you will. And they actually shimmer and glow like diamonds or glitter paper in the sunlight. So that's the reason why they can't go out in the day. So this iconic scene that I kind of want to recreate a little bit has the girl and the boy in the woods, and I kind of want you're not going to be able to see too much of the sky because of the scenery. I have a couple of, I'm going to do some paper piecing. I did some cutting with my Cricut here, this kind of wood scene. So you're not going to be able to see too much of the background, but I'm envisioning the sky kind of with just a little bit of sun and mostly clouds, and then him just kind of standing in the sunny part, and then I'm going to put some glitter on him so that he's sparkly. And I thought, using some extreme creative license just so to make this card I'm using for my sister, I thought I would put the little werewolf guy who has a crush on the girl. I thought that I would put him behind a tree kind of peeking out and looking at them, which is obviously not something that happened in any of the stories, but again, just creative license, just kind of making it amusing for my sister. So there you have it. That's kind of what I have for the design for the card today, and I've pulled out a lot of things that I thought that I could use. And I see that I forgot to grab paper, which was awesome. I guess I'll just be not doing anything. So let's see, we're going to need some Bristol Smooth, and I'm probably going to want some Spectrum Noir because I'm going to be doing some alcohol coloring. And I'm going to want my ink. Okay. There we go. Hey, you know what I didn't do again for the second day in a row is I didn't wet my stamp jammy. Awesome. So I'll be right back. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Fortunately, the kitchen is close by. My craft area is in the corner of the living room. Okay, let's see what we're going to get started. So obviously the first thing that I need to do is I need to stamp out my characters and color them. Actually, let me do this just so that I don't lose track of everything. I'm going to piece this together and just kind of get it set aside so that it dries and is out of the way. I'm afraid I'm going to lose any of these little pieces here if I don't take care of them. So this is a file from Cricut Design Space. I just put in, I think, trees or forest or something, and it found what I was looking for. I love to incorporate a whole bunch of different mediums and techniques when I make my cards. So I thought it would be fun instead of trying to, I'm not much of a drawer or an artist. I probably wouldn't be able to sketch out a wood scene for the background or do any kind of inking with it. And to my knowledge, I don't have many large stamps of trees and stuff, so I thought that I would do some paper piecing instead of trying to find different stamps and try to build a scene in the background. So I went into Cricut Design Space and I searched for file or forest or something, and then I found this and I kind of sized it. It's gonna be too big for my card base, so I figured I would kind of position it and then I just trim the edges off. So this is gonna be kind of my background here, and then I'm gonna do some inking for the background part. So let me find my glue. I just had it a second ago. Here it is. I am dragging today. Not enough coffee, I guess. I'm using, my tip is clogged a little bit because it's almost empty. I'm using my Lawn Fawn glue, which I love. And it, well, maybe it's just empty. Oh, nope, it's not. Shoot, I just spilled some. False alarm. No problem. Just clean that up. I love this glass mat because you never stress little spills or whatever if anything goes on the glass mat. Anyway, I love this glue, and I actually have a spare tube already, so if we happen to run out, that's fine. And I do also have my Zig glue pens around here somewhere. Yeah, I can use these too. I do like these very much, but they dry so fast that it becomes a little bit difficult with larger images to use that 2-way pen. Little water there from my cleanup. Whatever. Just a little water. Little glue. I love paper piecing. I love my Cricut. What I find myself doing quite a bit with the Cricut is that I'll save up like a whole week's worth of projects to do with the Cricut, and then I kind of do them in that week there, because the Cricut unfortunately does take, oh, I put this on backwards, that's okay. The Cricut does take up quite a lot of desk space. I think that might also be upside down. I'm not sure, but that's fine. So when I pull out the Cricut, I can have the whole desk to do Cricut things. Which is actually kind of what I've been doing this past week. I had some custom orders and stuff, and they all required using the Cricut. More glue. This glue dries pretty quick. I think you usually have just, maybe half a minute to kind of make sure that your piece is in its final place. I do like this glue. I wish I thought to get more coffee. I think I'm almost done with my cup of coffee here. I'm so tired. And I did go to bed. I had a decent hour last night. I think we went to bed around 9 o'clock last night. My husband was supposed to be home. Was supposed to leave work at 5. Because he was 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. yesterday, and he didn't end up getting out till 7 p.m. So he got home around 7:30, had dinner, and then we went to bed pretty much. Right after our daughter did, because her bedtime's 8. It might seem like he works a lot of hours, but it's, many hours less than what he used to work at his old job. So it still is kind of surreal having him home. Okay, so I've done my paper piecing. This, I'm gonna let it dry a bit. I'm gonna do an inked background for the sky, and then I'm gonna get everything adhered to my card base, and I'll position which way that I want this. I left it big on purpose so that it would take up a big portion of the scene. And then I'm going to have the one little boy behind a tree kind of peeking out, and then I'm going to have the lovers standing in the foreground there. I'm just going to set this aside. I have one of those plastic rolling carts that I got at Michael's, the one with the different colored drawers. We call it, in this house, we call it my rainbow cart. And I kind of use that as a drying rack. So I just pull out a drawer and I'll throw something that's drying in there. So I have layers and layers of stuff that's drying. So the next step, I should work on these little guys here. Let's get them stamped. I'm pulling out my Tim Holtz stamp platform. This is the regular size. I did a live yesterday and we had a discussion about this stamp platform. There's some sort of settlement between Tonic, who makes the Tim Holtz platform, and the makers of the Misty stamp positioner, where this is not going to be available for sale in the United States anymore once that sells out. So if you are interested, definitely don't delay. Get one as soon as you can. I found mine for a really great price from Blitzy. And as we were discussing yesterday, Blitzy is temporarily closed right now because they're moving. So you're not going to be able to find yours at Misty. Where is my other magnet? Have I just lost my mind? Is my magnet gone? My second magnet? This is my third magnet. I have two of these somewhere. I don't know where the other one is. It is in my bag here? My storage bag? I have no idea. Did it fall out? Those magnets never move. I genuinely have no idea. I'm going to have to go back and watch the footage of yesterday to see if I had it yesterday, because I don't recall it missing yesterday. Doesn't mean that it wasn't, but I don't know what's going on. It's not that big of a deal. They're inexpensive to replace, but I just don't want like some random magnet in my house. Whew, that smell of new stamps, guys. That fresh photopolymer. Kindred stamps, they're really nice quality, thick photopolymer stamps. They're very much akin to, who is one? Pink and Main. If you ever use any Pink and Main stamps with a nice thick photopolymer. Almost the same thing. In fact, I've wondered if they're the same manufacturer. Very good quality. No ripping, no issues with these stamps. So let's get these kids stamped out here. They do make cutting files for a lot of the stamp sets. And actually, I don't happen to own... They're only like 99 cents or whatever. I just haven't purchased the cutting files for this. It's almost just as easy to fussy cut, I guess. But I do actually have some cutting files. Yeah, they're 99 cents for something. So someday I'll do a program on how to use those in your Cricut. Okay, I just want to make sure that I have enough room in between my characters for easy cutting. And for my stamping, I'm going to be using my favorite things, Extreme Black ink, which is probably my new favorite black ink ever. It would replace all of my black inks had it not been a hybrid, and it takes a little bit longer to dry. So I do still keep my my Ranger Black archival ink around. Obviously this one's quite beaten up because this one dries instantly, and so I use this mostly for stamping on the back of my cards. Here's my business stamp here. Just because, you know, I want something that dries instantly. Anyway, so yeah, if this dried a little bit faster, it would be my only black ink. Oh, you know what? I also keep, what is it called? The VersaFine Onyx Black, and I keep that for heat embossing. Which this one is not. I've tried using heat embossing with this one, and it's not as good as the VersaFine. So I'm just inking up my stamp. I'm probably going to have to stamp this out a couple of times because they're brandy new. And a big shout out and thank you to Kindred Stamps. This stamp set is from their August release, which was released towards the end of August. And I actually won the August release from one of their contests on their blog. That did not stamp at all. We're gonna do this again. And again and again and again until we get it right. What is going on? There we go. Oh, maybe this magnet. This magnet tends to be a little bit more irritating. That might be a problem. Because it has the washi tape on it, it makes it thicker, so stamping is a little bit harder. I'll stamp this guy separately if I have to. I don't think that there's anything wrong with this stamp. It's probably just user error. Listen to that rain. I sent my poor daughter outside. Well, I didn't send her. She wanted to go outside for the bus like 5 minutes earlier than she had to today, and it's pouring out there. What is going on? I'm just trying to get that little last bit of shoe here stamped out. Anyway, so she took my umbrella, so now I don't have an umbrella today. She has an umbrella. She has an awesome umbrella. She has a SpongeBob umbrella. Because SpongeBob, I'm sure you'll all agree, is the coolest thing on earth. And she said some of the kids were teasing her for it. She's 10 and was carrying a SpongeBob umbrella, and I was like, I'm 39 and I totally would carry a SpongeBob umbrella. Unfortunately, I can't carry that SpongeBob umbrella because it's tiny. I'm getting very angry by this shoe not stamping out. There we go. Better. Not great, but better. I keep checking. I don't have any physical impediments to making that stamp. Alright, let's get these cleaned and put away. I'm a big believer in clean as you go. And that's probably a good reason why it takes me 7 hours to make one small project. Okay. Whew. That is a pungent smell. Get this out of the way. And let's get to coloring. I'm not a very good colorist. I tend to just do like 1 or 2 color blends, not really caring too much about my coloring. Or I shouldn't say that. I don't get like artist precision with my coloring. So I'm using my Spectrum Noir markers. Very basic. I wish I could have music or something. I think I've talked about this before. I'm not entirely sure that I can do that while streaming, so. So I don't, or the other thing that I like to listen to, I'm doing a rewatch / re-listen to Downton Abbey the past couple of weeks. And I think it's season 5 that I'm on right now. I've seen it a few times before, so. The way that my craft area is situated, we just moved last month. The way that my craft area is situated in this new house, my back is actually to the television, so there's not much actually watching television or anything while I'm working. It's more just listening. Alright. So, and I think, what did I pick out for her hair? I think I'm just doing these browns right here. I tried to keep it separated when I pulled out my colors, different characters for different piles, but some of the markers are intended to go, to be shared amongst them. This is my Spectre Noir color chart here, and I had this in my hand, and I had the stamp set in my other hand, and I was just pulling markers. I'm not making too much of an effort to be precise. I'm going to color in her little headband so I don't accidentally cover over it. I have the hardest time with hair. I think a lot of my coloring just comes from, of course, a good chunk of just not really caring. I do think that the really nice, sort of pretty, artistic coloring, I do like that, but a part of it is just recognizing that I've never been able to, my whole life, you know, draw or color anything that looks nice anyway. And the other huge chunk of it is just pure laziness. Like, I don't really care. Or perhaps I'm just disinterested, maybe, but I just don't want to take the time to do the color classes or to pay too much attention to my lighting sources, anything like that. It's a good chunk of not really caring. But I don't really do anything where that kind of artistic quality coloring fits in anyway. I tend to enjoy more comedic and fun themed things. So I just put a couple like darker streaks in her hair and just colored over it. Whatever. I did go outside the lines a little bit, but I'm going to be fussy cutting these, so it's fine. Okay. So I decided for her jacket. I thought when I saw this coat of hers, I was thinking one of those fabulous fleece, you know, gray heathered fleece lined, like army coat almost. So I thought that we would have some gray, a little bit of gray lining peeking out. What did I grab for her shirt color? I don't, oh, here we go. Her little shirt underneath. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And it also reminded me that I too would really like a coat like that. And I don't. I did just get a new winter coat last year though. So I guess I can't be too complainy. So I thought perhaps she's wearing a green coat and some jeans. There's a little spot I missed here of her hair. I didn't realize that was a hair. Honestly, that's probably going to get cut off when I fussy cut anyway. Oop, I just got a marker on myself. Brilliant. And it looks like I missed some of her flesh here too, under these shoes. And some jeans.
Sometimes these caps are hard to get off.
I just made a little mistake and got some
Ink on her flesh tone that doesn't belong there, so I'm just going to try to mitigate it a little bit and try to push it through with the flesh toned marker.
so it's not quite as obvious. I did want dark
Shoes for her.
Okay, one down, two to go. Let's see. For the werewolf, I picked darker skin tones for him because he is part Native American, or I believe he is Native American in the stories. And I wanted a nice dark color for him.
I'm using my tans. I use those a lot for flesh. The quote-unquote flesh tone set of little piece of fuzz on my tip here. The flesh tone set of markers from Spectre Noir, they're what they mean is Caucasian flesh. So if you're doing anything that's not Caucasian, you have to kind of think outside the box and reach. I'm going to need another color because this one's not blending very well. We're going to need more in between. I'll do what I can and then we'll reach above. Anyway, so you kind of have to think outside the box a little bit if you were wanting flesh tone for non-Caucasian things. And I do a lot of
Non-Caucasian. Let's see. Where is... Let me think. Where's my thingamabob? What I need is... No, I already have that one. Is that 3? Maybe a little bit more of this. No, let me think. What do I need? What do I need? I don't know.
I need a blend in between these two colors.
Oh, today's Thursday, isn't it? Our trash man should be here today.
I heard a big truck outside, and it's not our trash guy, but it reminded me that I'm doubly glad that I'm filming this early. Well, I guess maybe I don't. Maybe I just need to keep working it. I have a little bit of ink smudging right here, which probably means that I didn't let the ink dry long enough before I started coloring on it. Which happens.
I'm not sure if you can tell, but I make mistakes all the time on everything, and I have things that sometimes just don't turn out nicely or turn out the way that I want. I don't really beat myself up about stuff too much. Cards, for me, cards are supposed to be fun. If this was a card that I had intended to sell, then I would be a little bit more, you know, precise or careful about it, but it's not. It's a card for my sister, and she's gonna love it no matter what. She's not gonna notice little stuff. So I did not end up getting another shade because I just kept blending and blending and blending and blending and blending, and now it's kind of along the lines of what I had intended originally. So there you go. Sometimes Jennifer McGuire is right. Sometimes you just need to keep going, even if you don't like the way something is turning out, and hope for the best. So this gentleman actually has black hair. And where is... Here we go. He has that beautiful shiny hair. The actor that plays him has enviable... Well,
everything about his features are just perfect enough that they shouldn't be happening, but enviable hair.
So I'm just putting down some, I'm not actually using black, I'm just using my dark grays, just putting down a couple of streaks of the dark, and I'm coming in. And we have to put a little bit more dark down, because this is coming out a little bit too gray. But let's just keep blending and blending and blending, and we'll see what happens. That actually doesn't look bad, for what I was going for anyway. Oh, I just got a little bit. Oh, you can't really tell too much. I went over the lines a little bit because it's so dark, it's pretty forgiving. Okay, so I forgot what else I wanted for him. I think I wanted like gray sweatpants for him, because in the books, honestly, I don't think we're even going to be able to see the way that I'm going to have him positioned behind a tree. We're probably not going to be able to see anything other than a lot of his face, so I'm not going to get too concerned. In fact, I might even just skip coloring his shoes, because that's how, and I was so concerned about getting that to stamp out, and it's not even going to be in the picture, or the card. Just do some very rough coloring. Oop, just knock something over. Just in case the top of his shirt appears or something, but you don't think his feet or his legs are going to appear in the manner in which I'm going to prop him onto the card. Okay, and then the last thing that we have to do is this vampire. He has sort of goldeny highlight hair. This is the one that I was most worried about, because I'm not very good with hair, and I wasn't sure what to do about coloring the hair with sort of the light brown goldeny highlights. So I grabbed a couple of markers from my gold, but I do know kind of my custom, because this is, oddly enough, not the first time that I've colored vampires. I like the way that very light grays look for vampire skin, because they're dead. In this particular mythology, this guy is like friggin' stone, so of course we're going to have gray skin for him, and then I'm going to I will blend it out with a very light gray, but I'm using my blue grays for this. I do like my, I'll also use my ice grays, but I didn't want too much, because these ones are also from the ice gray. I didn't want too much of the ice gray. I wanted to bring in another, is it brown gray? Brown gray, I think, maybe. A different family. So I'm going to make him look gray, because I can. And he's dead, so I can do whatever I want. If you follow my channel, you might recall that Kindred Stamps asked me to be their guest designer for their sleigh stamp set back in July, I think it was, and I used grays on that vampire as well. And I think once we get the glitter on him, for glitter I'm going to use, I do have this silver jelly pen, but I don't think it's going to get, now that's too silver, but I was thinking I would use my Spectre Noir shimmer pen. I'm just going to let this dry a little bit though before I start slapping more color on top of it. Let me think. Let's take a look at these golds that I pulled out for his hair. Wow, that's too gold. That's too gold. What to do, what to do. Let me think.
I like it, but it's too much. We need a little bit of light brown. Where did I put that? I have the light tans in here somewhere. I wonder if I just did flecks of tan and flecks of gold and then kind of blended them with something lighter, how that would look. I don't know. I'm already doing it, so. So this is tan that I'm holding. Tan 3. And let's flex some gold in there, which is this one. It's 2 gold. This is 2 gold. Let's lay the gold down anyway. Let's put something lighter over it. That noise you're hearing behind me are my daughter's cats. Being naughty. This vampire isn't exactly blonde, but he's not dark-haired either. He has nice gold highlights. In part of the mythology, the vampire lore in this mythology, when they become the vampires, when their bodies die, they like gain physical attributes that they didn't have in life. Not like entirely changed, but everything that they had just becomes intensified, I guess is the right word. This is not right. This coloring is not. I'm gonna actually have to Google a picture and see. It's not right. No, he is shown as having brown hair with some golden highlights. So I'm going to have to bring it a little bit more brown, I think. I'm not going to stress it too much. My sister is still going to get what my intention was, but... I don't know. I think it's still a little bit too light, but we're gonna leave it. I don't care. He's gonna be in the sunshine anyway. I don't care. Okay. So moving on, because I don't have all day. I think for him, I had thought he is wearing blues and browns. Not browns. Blues and grays is what he's wearing, sort of. I'm thinking of stone. Oh. Where is that dark one that I used? Because I wanted his shoes to be dark. Oh. Did I not pull down? Maybe I didn't finish pulling down what I wanted because my Spectre Noirs are up on the wall, up and above me over here. That is gray. Just a different gray color family here. Don't let me forget about the buttons. Buttons. And let's pull... Do I want gray pants for him too, or do I want like black pants? Even though he's wearing black shoes. I think that I actually do. Let's see. Unfortunately, we will see his clothes. missed a spot. Where is that gray? Coat. Oh, oh, buttons, buttons, buttons.
Button, button, button. Who's got the button?
Okay.
Okay. So not the greatest, but my point is made. Let me get all these markers out of the way. I'll put them away later when the camera's not on me. Where did I put my sparkle pen? No, it's right here. Okay, so I'm going to put some glitter on this gentleman here. Oops, look at that. That is way too much. We're just going to paint some glitter on him. You know what I should have done? Let me cut him off so I can work on fussy cutting the other two and he can set aside and dry.
So I want him to be really glittery. And then we will come back and check and see if he needs another coat of glitter
In a little bit. You can tell with the lighting. I'm trying to hold it in a way. I'm not sure if you can tell or not. It's really dark in here, as if I didn't have enough problems with my lighting. Alright, we're going to fussy cut these guys really quick. I'm using my Do Craft non-stick scissors, which have a nice rubber grip on them for fussy cutting. They're not the greatest. It's been on my wish list. The small snips from Tim Holtz. Maybe Santa will bring. So I'm fussy cutting right up against the outline here, and then I'm going to take a black marker and just kind of shade in the core. This is actually the sort of thing that I should be doing right up in my face because I have a hard time seeing, and trying to fussy cut for the sake of the camera is not in my best interest at this time. I don't really care too much though. I normally would not do this sort of thing live, like when I do coloring, when I do my process videos. I usually fast forward my coloring and then I skip the fussy cutting because I do have to put it right up in my face. I am probably a good 6 or 7 years overdue for getting my eyes checked. I do wear glasses. I'm definitely one of those people that if I misplaced my glasses, I would need glasses to find my glasses. If I'm not wearing my glasses, I can't. I can see big blobs of color, but I can't make out anything. And I suspect that I've got a healthy dose of nearsightedness as well as farsightedness now. Alright. One fussy cut. Get the scraps out of the way. Hey, I remembered to empty out my trash barrel this morning. Hashtag winning. So this guy, I'm not too concerned with anything below his pectorals there, his impressive physique. So that's probably actually as far as I'm going to bother going, because he will be behind a tree. Possibly. I won't cut his bottom half off completely. I might change my mind. I've done that many times before.
I have an idea, and then it's not until I start placing things and paper piecing that I come up with something completely different and go in a completely different direction. So let's check on our vampire and see how he's doing. He is still quite a bit wet, so I'm going to set him aside and let him dry a little bit more before I try to fussy cut. Now I'm going to color in the edges, the core of this, and I'd normally like to use a nice black Sharpie to do that. Here we go. I was going to say, but I don't know where my Sharpie is, but here it is. So again, I'm just coloring in the core with my Sharpie. I know people will use their markers to do this. I don't like ruining the tips of my markers. I feel that this process kind of damages the felt a little bit. Sharpies are much cheaper. I have a ton of them. They're much more expendable than my Spectrum Noir. Shit, with that I just made a mistake. That's because I'm trying to do it and it's not up in my face. I really can't see what I'm doing very well. Maybe we'll have to try to hide that little, I don't know if you can tell, I went a little over too far with the Sharpie. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I'll be a little bit more careful with this one. I'll bring it to my face, sorry. This one's not going to be hidden behind a tree, so I should probably make a little bit of an effort to not be a complete slob on this one. Sorry. Okay, much better. Much better and mistake-free. We'll check in on our vampire in a little bit. And then we'll color him. So we've got 2 of these guys. Now I want a background scene. Like the background. Just a cloud scene. So I have some Bristol Smooth cardstock here. I have some of my Distress Oxides. I have this big pile of markers that's going to be in the way. And I grabbed my cloud stencil from My Favorite Things. And I thought we would put some clouds on here. But I also thought we might need a bit of a sun. Just because he's going to be in the sun a little bit, so I'm not really sure how to do that. I'm not very good with coloring backgrounds. Or my other thought is that I could just kind of set it up and people would know at the sun. Just in case I grab the squeeze lemonade, and I've got Broken China. I do have on order, I have the new blue, I forget which one it is. They released the new set of oxides. Where is it? And there's a lighter blue color that I have been waiting on. And I did just order it, but it's not Stormy Sky. Tumble Glass is the really light blue one that I've wanted for clouds, to do clouds and sky stenciling, and I don't have it yet because I literally just ordered it a couple days ago. So so let's think. I can do some clouds, I can try to do a sun, and then maybe some clouds over it. Let's try that, and then if it completely sucks, then I'll just flip the cardstock over and try the other side. So let's do a light sun peeking out from the corner here. And I picked this corner because of the way that the vampire is facing with his face all sparkly. I thought the sun was probably coming from this corner.
So let's try that. And then I grabbed for the other one that I grabbed for clouds is the iced spruce, which I thought also might look nice to do some clouds because it's kind of a nice gray green color. So I'm not sure. This stencil does not fit this orientation of the card very well. So I thought we could do some, and I just moved, no real rhyme or reason, just moving the stencil. This, I think I like this a lot better than the blue, so I'm going to stick with. I am aware that the tree scene that I've paper pieced is going to cover a good portion of this. So I'm just kind of going for the idea of the clouds in the background, for things that will be peeking through, and not necessarily perfection, because again, a lot of it's going to be covered. I should have taped this down. But again, not too worried about it. Let's see how that works with the background, which is right here and should be dry. I like it. We're going to need to bring it down a little bit further, though. I was hoping we could leave it like it is, but we're going to have to bring it down. Bring it down. I've really been trying to get into my stencils a lot more lately. Normally I like using them. When I tape it down, it actually works better. So let's grab some of that. I'm going to have to make a mental note that this iced spruce does make a nice cloud. I have used, what's it called, hickory smoke before, and it's okay. It's just sometimes it's quite a bit darker than I intend. But this iced spruce is really working nicely as a muted gray color. I don't know, what do you guys think? I think it looks cool. Maybe we'll do a little sun halo coming down, just some sun. I'm like the Bob Ross of Distress Oxides right now. Just a little sunlight coming through. Yeah, that's the right one. Alright, now let's take a look. It still needs to come down more. Okay. I need more color is what I need. No problem. And it's mostly just that one. There we go. Another layer on top. I find with my clouds, I just keep going and going and going and going and going. I needed some dark gray in that section there specifically, so let's take a look now. Much better. Much better. Okay, let's get cleaned up. I did not end up using the broken china at all. And I need to grab my water to clean this up. Just clean the ink off my stencil. Set that aside to dry and then I'll put it away. Yes, Matt. Okay, now, oh, let's check on our vampire, 'cause we're getting near the point where we need him. He's pretty close to being dry. Let's try fussy cutting. It's still a little wet. I may have to hit this with the heat tool. I do wish they would do dyes. Okay, he's cut. I've just gotta Sharpie his core. I'm a core Sharpier. And I'm moving it off camera so that I can see it better and do a slightly better job. As we've learned our lesson. I'm prone to messing up things and making spastic, inaccurate hand movements anyway. I increase the chances of that by by keeping it away. Okay, so he is fussy cut and Sharpie. Let us have a look at our creation here. Oh, let me grab the sentiment too. This is something that I've been doing a lot lately, is I'll pull the, even though I haven't actually put the sentiment on a banner yet, I'll pull the sentiment out as well when trying to piece together my cards. So I have this couple here, and they're kind of facing each other, and I wanted this guy kind of between them, peeking out from behind a tree. So I have, if I have this couple here, is he peeking out from behind the tree? That actually amuses me. Between the tree and the bushes a little bit, he's peeking out. And then the couple. Or maybe I'll have the couple over here. I think that works out a little bit better instead of, so I can put the couple. But I'm so sorry. I, again, am realizing that I'm off screen. I think that I was originally going to have the werewolf in between the couple, but I think having him slightly off to the side so that way I can have the couple standing closer together. I think this is kind of the way that I want it, and I do see that I need to pay a little bit more attention to his top half here in terms of fussy cutting out, because it looks like some of his arms are going to appear in the scene, and maybe the tops of his legs. Uh-oh, a certain little bunny rabbit just hopped by. Hi, bun. Oh, angry bun. We have a plastic baby gate up in the door frame of my daughter's room because a certain bunny rabbit is not allowed in there because my daughter's room is carpeted. And there's a certain bunny rabbit that likes to claw up and dig carpeting.
So we have to keep the rabbit out of the room, and she gets mad. Woo! This rabbit does not like to be oppressed in any way. Okay. Let's get the little couple out of the way, and I wanted him in between, kind of peeking out a little bit. What do you think? Let me grab a little scotch tape to keep it in place. I'm going to move him up slightly so he's not in the card. Scotch tape him into place on the back here. Double check and make sure. And then I'll have the couple, I'll move this down, the scene down a bit, and then the couple right here, and then I guess we'll have the sentiment up here. So let's get everything on my card base. I have, hi Brina, how are you today, honey? I have a couple of card bases, A2 card bases that I pre-cut, and this is using Recollections white 110-pound cardstock. Boom. I don't know if you can hear this rabbit. I do need to cut this the background down a bit to fit my card base. Let me get, I forgot that I hadn't done that yet. Just off camera, I've got my Fiskars punch here. Oh, you got your kit. I'm so jealous. Isn't it gorgeous? Did you put pictures on Instagram? I'd love to see. I haven't been on Instagram yet. I don't even think I was really on yesterday very much. I was doing stuff. Grabbing some of my double-sided tape. I figured out what happened to my kit. My October kit, it was delivered to our old address, so I do plan to pick that up tomorrow from our former landlord, as we had plans to go over there and visit tomorrow anyway. And I will do an unboxing. It's an amazing kit, and I can't wait to try out those glitter papers. Alright, where's my pick? This tape, I'm using the double-sided tape that you get from Joann's by Ms. Sparkle and Company. You get them in their dollar bins in the paper crafting department. They work fantastic. Oh yay. Instagram is so much fun, isn't it? I have a smart TV too, and I love casting stuff onto the television. It's so much easier than trying to watch on my phone or on the computer, and then you can still do stuff, which I like. Excuse me. Trim a little bit of that edge off. Trim it off so that it adds up. There we go. I like everything to be neat and tidy. Okay, let's place our scene here, right on top, and then I'm just going to trim all the excess right off. I'm probably going to use my Lawn Fawn glue again.
of this part's going to be cut off, so. Try to move this into the camera area a little bit. And I'll just put this card base directly in some glue. That's always a good idea. Okay, I think that's enough glue. I am not part of the MMH Fanatics Facebook group. I didn't even know it existed. So this is the very first time that I'm hearing of it. And I will have to look that up. I would love to be part of that. I'm in a lawn fawn group, which is a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to stick, oh, I don't know if I have enough glue behind him. I need a little bit more glue behind the werewolf's head here. There we go. I'm going to stick something heavy on this for just a moment to help press it down a bit better than I could with my hand. Here's my planner. This always weighs 900 pounds. Okay. It's just about that time of the year to get a 2019 planner. I'm definitely going to go with something physically larger this year. Hero Arts Kit Fanatic on Facebook. Yeah, I don't see a link, but I will search on Facebook on another tab here. Because of course, if there's going to be a group, I'm going to want to be in it. Let's see. Hero Arts Kit Fanatics. 353 members, 10 posts a day. I think that I have found the group, and I will apply to the group when I am done with this. But I'd love to be part of it. Most Hero Arts kits I like. Some of them have been kind of misses for me, but I still think that it's an extremely good value. A little bit more glue. Gluey glue. All right, so let me trim. I'm gonna do some trimming. I'm using my large scissors. Just cut those off right against the edge of the card here. Cut it all off so that it fits nicely in an envelope. Clean up my mess. There we go. There is most of the card. Not quite done. So then we have this couple here. And I thought we'd prop them up with a little foam to give it a little bit of dimension. And then all we've got to do is put the sentiment on. But before we start putting on foam and get dimension, which could pose some difficulties, I want to get a stamp on the back. Now this is a personal card, so for my sister, who's already quite familiar with my business, so I'm probably not going to use my business stamp on it, but I do love to put a little flair on my personal cards, and I use one of these two stamp sets from Technique Tuesday. There's this one, which it's a masterpiece, and then this one is called Made with Love, and I think I got both of these on scrapbook.com. I'm not sure if they're both still available, but you could take a look. So I just need to kind of figure out which sentiment I want. This is probably one of my favorites. Is this card took hours to make, love it, cherish it, and then yep, I made this, don't throw it out. I'm going to do the yep, I made this, don't throw it out for my sister. who probably wouldn't throw it out, but you know what I mean. Where is my, I had it a second ago, and I'm going to use my archival ink because it dries instantly, and I don't want to risk accidentally smudging. Alrighty, so I've got my fun little stamp on here. Just gonna clean my stamp. A huge part of card making and card giving for me is bringing smiles and bringing laugh. So I really gravitated towards these little sets here, and they're really inexpensive. I think they're only $3 a piece, maybe. A lot of fun. Okay, done. All right, moving on. I'm probably going to maybe heat emboss this sentiment and put it on a banner or a flag or something, maybe, because I'm not. This is a dimensional paper pieced scene. It's probably not going to look very good if I try to stamp directly on this. So let's do that. What color are we going to do? Oops. You can't see it off camera, but I have quite a mess going on over here. Probably black or white. Let's do black. I like black. I have this black scrap here from my scrap bin. From some of my Cricut projects. I don't know if this will fit on this block or not. Alright, I'm going to need some embossing powder. Hi Teresa, good morning. Teresa, I got my mail yesterday and I have a card for you. So from you, I should say. Don't go away, because I haven't opened up my mail yet, because most of it's just bills. When I'm done with this card, I'll dash and go get my purse in the hallway, and I'll get the card out of it. Don't go anywhere. I'm very excited. I actually audibly squeed when I got the mail yesterday. What color? Just standard white embossing powder, I guess, is kind of my go-to. I need a coffee filter, though. It's reaching. So if you're just joining me, I'm making a birthday card for my sister using the Kindred Stamps Love Bites set. And I will, it is currently available still. I'll relink it in chat here. The trees, okay, I'll go over the card really quick. The trees are, oops, look at that. I just brought up some of the glue because I'm a genius. Let me fix this really quick while I'm talking about it. The trees are from a file on Cricut, Cricut Design Space. So they are paper cut, and I did that yesterday. I didn't bother turning on the Cricut or anything on camera today. I did that yesterday because I knew that I wanted this as part of my scene. So, and I just paper pieced it on camera this morning. You'll be able to see it if you watch the first half of the replay or whatever. And then I stamped. If you're familiar with this saga at all, this is sort of a love triangle thing going on with the girl and the werewolf and the vampire. So I'm taking some extreme liberties with a scene from the film, and there's an iconic scene in the book where the young couple is in the woods and the sun is coming down and glimmering off the vampire, and the vampire, there's glitter on the vampire here. Or I should say shimmer pen on the vampire, and he's shimmering in the sunlight and all of that. So, and that actually happened, but I'm taking a lot of liberties here, and I have the werewolf kind of just peeking out from behind the tree, watching them in the woods. So, my sister's gonna get it. She's a big fan of this lore, and that's really all that matters, is that we're making the card for someone specific. So I'm just gonna heat emboss the sentiment on this scrap of black that I have here from another thing that I was doing with the Cricut yesterday, and I just had my, there it is. I just had my Versamark. Here it is. So yes, they are, to answer your question in the short way, they are die cut, but they're from a Cricut file. They're not
It's not a die set.
So I'm using the sentiment, have a dazzling birthday. And then I'm going to white heat boss it. Yes, because of copyright reasons, yeah. I won't pretend to be like really in the know on this one. I sell stuff online and I sell my creative works, so I already know that if you didn't create something, you can't sell it. So I can't say take, like, what is the word that I'm thinking of? Like the Little Mermaid from Disney. I can't just like make a Little Mermaid card and then go market it as a Little Mermaid card, because it's theft. It's stealing. But what this company does is they do things that are inspired, I guess, but not infringing, I guess is the way that you could say it. I'm not entirely sure. Some of their sets kind of, to me, look like they're bordering on the edge of, oh my god, I can't believe you're getting away with that. But something like this, where it's not specifically referring to anyone, and that's why they do ask that we don't mention the names of the things that they're inspired after. And I say that if you know, yeah, they're cartoony spoofs, things that aren't really infringing on anything, I guess. And I'm trying not to refer to any of the characters by name either. I have to step over here and heat and boss for a second. Sorry about that. I still have to keep my embossing gun over here to keep it out of the way, the cord out of the way of the rabbit. I still haven't had a chance to get to Michael's to get one of those silicone holders. Hi Keisha, good morning. Yeah, Hurricane Michael, no joke, guys. I was talking to someone on Facebook yesterday. She's a Facebook friend, but we're not like super cute, super close friends. We met through Etsy. So we're not like BFFs or anything. And she was telling me that the roof of her mother's house and her mother's neighbor just came flying off yesterday. That's terrifying. So I'm using my little Carl trimmer here to just clean up the edges. None of these edges are squared off because I was just using a scrap. That's fine. And it's still not really squared off, but it's close enough. I was going to suggest putting some Nuvo drops on this, but if I want it to go into the mail today, I really shouldn't be using Nuvo drops. Okay, so let's pull together the final look of the card with some foam tape or foam dots, because we want to give it a little bit of dimension. And those are right here. These come also from the Ms. Sparkle & Company line, from the dollar bins at Joann's. So I'm just going to pop a couple of those behind my things here. I'm not pressing down too hard in case I change my mind about the orientation. Like I just did. Now if I put it right there, it's going to cover up a lot of my sun, so maybe I'll put it right there and cover that ugly part of the sun. The ugly part that I messed up with the shading in the back. Yeah, yes, it's raining quite hard today. And it's dark, which is why I'm making my card before I do all of my other work. I was kind of hoping it would brighten up a little bit. I have a lot of pictures to take for Instagram and my Etsy and eBay stores. Okay, so here we go. Here is the completed card, which is cracking me up. And I have some Spectrum Noir shimmer pen on the vampire here so that he's... I'm not sure if you can pick it up in the light, but... Then we've got the little guy just peeking on them. I think my sister's gonna love this. I had a lot of fun. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my purse because I have a letter from Teresa who's here and chat with us that I want to open. Back. Sorry, my purse was all the way in the hall. It's also I just bought stamps the other day and I keep forgetting to put them in my closet. Unfortunately, I have a huge pile of just mail that's not remotely fun. So, here's a picture of my daughter in her Halloween costume from last year. Which is in my purse here. Crap. Some kind of a bill. And here's the card from Teresa. Look at this gorgeous heat embossing in the back. It's gorgeous. Okay. I have more crappy mail in here. She is going to go trick-or-treating this year. This year she is going to be what is it called? I'm thinking I know the name of it. It's an Alice in Wonderland character. The Mad Hatter. Excuse me. She's going to be the Mad Hatter. She's doing a group costume with a bunch of her friends this year. Okay, so this card is from Teresa, and I'm not going to flip it over because I'll cover her address. Her address is on the front, but look at that stamp. It's adorable. The stamps that I just got at the post office... My wallet here. Look at these guys. They have dragons at the post office right now. So make sure you're going to the post office and getting dragons. Okay. Opening it up. I haven't found my letter opener yet. I know I packed it. And most of my stuff is unpacked, so I don't know where the letter opener is. You know what else is also missing? My sewing machine is missing. We know that it made the move, and I always kept the box that it came in. And I know that and that's how we moved it in the box, that its original packaging. And we know that it made it onto the moving truck. We know that it made it off of the moving truck. And we never saw it again. And most of the house is unpacked. It's missing. Moves just eat things. So, oh my God, look at this die cut. Oh, you have to tell us the products that you use, Teresa. This is a die cut right here on gorgeous gold. It's metallic gold. And we've got a heat embossed U and this frame. What is this frame? Oh my goodness, and I bet you she painted this and heat embossed and watercolored. Oh my god. This one, I don't know which one I like more, this one or the other. I don't think that I could choose. This is gorgeous. I think, yeah, there's a note on the inside, so I won't open that. I'll read that later. This is from Stampin' Up! The Amazing or the border? It's gorgeous. These blues are gorgeous. You have to tell us everything, and I know it probably doesn't show up because my lighting is just awful in here, but she's colored it with a shimmer pen. Everything is colored with a shimmer pen over it, so there's tons of sparkle. Gorgeous heat embossing. What is your embossing powder? Tell me everything. Absolutely everything. I want to know everything about this card. And what do you use for your card bases? This is a nice smooth cardstock. It's gorgeous. The Amazing die cut with Stampin' Up! I like it. I don't really have much Stampin' Up! Stuff. I have a Stampin' Up! Rep though, and I'll just show you guys really quick. While I hope we're waiting for Teresa. There we go. Stampin' Up! Made the die cut. Cheap knockoffs and all the others. The border is a China item. Really? And did it come A2 size? The border? Really? I don't think I've ever seen any die that came from China that actually fit a card. It's beautiful. Thank you. I love it. So I'll just show you guys really quick because I'm not sure I get it. I got a card from my friend the other day. Always trick or treat with a good dog and a garden tool. Do I get it? I don't know. It says, because Halloween is way more fun with your best bitches and hoes. Like, I don't... She says that there's some sort of... I mean, it's funny, obviously, but... She says there's some sort of, like, inside joke between the two of us. I have no idea what she's talking about, so... I don't know if you ever have a friend that does something so vague and you're like... Yeah, I don't really know. That's the other card that I got in the mail. And I already opened up that one. Mostly because I was curious on this one because there was no return address. I was like, who the heck is sending me a card? And here's the back of the envelope again. I do have a couple of detail embossing powders. This gold is just a beautiful gold. And it stamps so well. You do such an amazing job. This is the second card that I will have from you going up over my desk. I love it. Thank you, Teresa. Oh, you're laughing about the card. Yeah, I don't know. Your best bitches and hoes. And my friend has, what does she call them? The friend that sent this to me has dogs, some kind of a little dog, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. I'm not a dog person. Some kind of a little terrier, and she has two of them, and they've just bred for the first time. So I got a text from her the other day. She's so excited to be a grandmother. This will make my second friend that, like, breeds dogs. I don't know what it is about dog breeding, but I don't know. We were always taught that you get your pets spayed and neutered. Even our rabbit, we adopted Daisy from a shelter, and they insisted that she had to be spayed before we could adopt her. A rabbit, even. Like crazy. So her adoption was delayed by like a month because they kept getting her surgery to get spayed, kept getting bumped and bumped and bumped. But they would not let us take her home if she wasn't spayed. Anyway. Teresa, thank you for the card. I love it. And is your name Teresa or Therese? Because I see that you write it both ways, and I'm never sure what to write or to call you. Like on your envelope, you write Therese. Or is that pronounced Teresa as well? The bitches and hoes, yeah, it's funny. This is the sort of thing that I would make, but I'm so confused that she would think this is some kind of an inside joke between the two of us. I honestly think that she's getting me confused with someone else because I'm not a dog person. Okay, so Teresa or Teresa. Thank you for clearing that up. I actually meant to ask you that yesterday and I forgot. And I'm glad that I got the I went and got the mail yesterday and all the bills and your card, and I love it. And again, here's the card that we made today. Thank you so much for keeping me company and providing me with input. The replay should be available to watch within the next couple of hours, but it is brightening up out here. I do need to clean up and begin my day. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I hope that you all have a great day. I'm going to try to get my phone off the tripod here before I break things. And yeah, thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to probably try to do another live next week, but I should have some regular old videos coming out next week as well because I've been filming. Thanks very much. Have a great day, and we will chat later. Bye!